All right, guys, welcome back to Sensei and the Pupil. We got our pupil Cray here, and we have our other Sensei Paul.
Hi.
And today we are going to, I guess, review Gluttony, Berserk of Gluttony.
Yeah.
This was intended to be weekly, but
it just finished right
it's
now.
over.
Yeah.
It's over.
We watched the last episode.
So
right now.
it's we're just gonna review it.
Yeah.
So,
Let's do it, guys. So, Berserk of Gluttony is the name of this show. And right off the bat, I mean, when I hear something called Berserk, I immediately put it in a lower plane. I immediately judge it because there is something called Berserk already. That is amazing. And so when I hear Berserk, it's just a bias that I can't get over. I don't know about you guys. I really pushed this off. I pushed watching this one off because I don't want to watch no shit called Berserk. I don't want to watch no shit called Berserk of Gluttony. It's going to be some bullshit anime where there's a harem and everything. And I was pleasantly surprised.
Hell so.
I was pleasantly surprised. And we'll get into what they think too. But pretty much this show is about a game world. You have skills at birth. Everyone has a different skill. And our main guy has one of the 7 deadly skills.
Everybody has one skill, right?
I think some people can have 2 or 3, I think. But it's like implied people can have multiple skills.
Not sure they really get into it.
Yeah, they didn't. And that's
It's the beauty of this anime.
Yeah.
The mystique of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They let you know what you should know, and then they don't let you. Then they're like, figure it out. they let you know what
They let you fill in the holes with your own
they
conclusions.
Really do.
Yeah.
They really do.
And then they don't tell you if that's right or not. They just
The main guy, Fate Graphite. He's a little slave boy. He gets picked on by holy knights. He's basically the shit of the town. Until one day whenever he sees one holy knight that's always nice to him, run into a building after a villain or a bad guy. Thieves. The thief comes out, he kills the thief, and his gluttony skill activates. And basically, his whole life of just feeling hunger, even though when he eats something he never gets full, he finally feels full for a moment. Because his gluttony skill did what it's supposed to. And that's what this show's about. Kind of him tackling this skill that he's given, one of the most powerful skills that allows him to eat eat other skills and eat their stats.
Absorb.
pretty OP.
He absorbs it. He never levels up, but he absorbs their shit. But there's also downsides to it as well. Dad, what's the downside of gluttony?
You're just constantly hungry, so you can be full for a little bit. I mean, it's just like being hungry. Once you eat, you'll be good for 6 to 8 hours if you eat a good meal. But
6 to 8.
but eventually you'll get hungry again.
Yeah.
So you will have to eat. You will have to eat again.
But the difference is, like, if I eat a burger, I'm not going to go get a whole pizza and then eat. Because that's the problem with his gluttony is that he can't just keep eating the little goblins. He has to go on to, like, a bigger and better prey. Which, for me, like I said, I'm not going to eat some french fries and then go on to, like, 10 burgers.
But also, so, like, if he ends up defeating a very powerful opponent, he will go into Berserk mode, right?
Berserk mode, because it's too much at once. Too much stats.
Because you have to have the name of the anime somewhere.
Yeah, there's no other reason to call Berserk at all, except for this moment when he goes Berserk. He also had, in killing this thief, Roxy then lets him become her personal knight. We get all this in the first episode, and then Roxy also has to leave by episode 2. And really, the show starts from there. Because as Roxy's like retainer, I guess, he's supposed to stay there at the house, but he decides to go and follow her.
Right.
He's wearing a mask at times to kill monsters because he doesn't want to get found out because there's rumors spreading around town that there's a monster killing other monsters. It's a whole thing because really he has an ungodly skill that he doesn't want known.
So basically, he has a second life that he's living, and he has to keep in the shadows.
Yes.
So because he's kind of, I guess, ashamed.
He's ashamed,
and he doesn't want Roxy to find out his second lifestyle of having to.
Dude, he has
monsters.
the main character fucking flaw that I hate more than anything, and that's the White Knight main character. He fell in love with her like that, and now he has to do everything just to make himself look good to her. I hate those characters.
That's not true.
Okay, tell me how it's not.
He's been knowing her since he was a kid. First of all, when he was lost.
Okay, wait. That's not fair.
He didn't know.
He didn't know that.
He didn't realize it.
He didn't realize that, so we can't count that.
But whenever she came to come in to save him, you can kind of see that she's always kind of been nice to him in some certain way.
Right.
Because he knew her name already. Like, as soon as she walked up and saved him from those people kicking him.
Yeah.
And then also, she knew his Fate. How you doing? Like, oh, you can't let them treat you like that, Fate. Because he's always been around him.
Yeah, he's kind of the punching bag. I think we can all tell that. Like, the other Holy Knights kind of just beat up on him for no reason.
But they not just him though. The Holy Knights really kind of just beat up on they kind of just beat up on everybody.
Yeah,
kind of fucked up. Huh?
They're dicks.
At least a lot of the ones that we have seen. There's a couple good ones that we see, but for the most part, the Holy Knights are kind of like all like snobs, and they kind of like look down upon the rest of the society, basically.
Even though they're protectors, which is crazy. They're basically like, if I could make a metaphor, they're like cops to black people. Like they're there to like, oh yeah, I know that's a little bit of, sorry, but basically they're kind of scared of them. They're supposed to be, you're supposed to be our protectors, but you're beating us all the time.
We're the good guys, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, they're Holy Knights are dicks. Yeah. All right, they're just straight up dicks. And throughout these episodes, Fate actually gets his revenge on one of the Holy Knights, Hado.
Right.
And he straight kills him. Like, he cuts his limbs off and then slowly stabs him after he realizes who he is.
With what sword? I forgot. We skipped over one of the main characters here.
So, in this world, there are also, to go with the 7 deadly sins, 7 weapons of mortal sin, which are greed, sloth, and that's always... and also envy. And they're specialized weapons that don't necessarily have to be with deadly sin people, but it seems like they're kind of meant to be with them.
Right, they're perfect pairs for them.
Yeah, it seems like they can talk. The weapons can talk. The sword kind of becomes...
Yeah, they're kind of sentient, huh?
They are sentient.
And these are the only sentient
weapons
in the world.
Right, and they're all black. Not like race-wise, but they're all like black colored. Like,
yeah, they are.
They are. I mean, come on, I'm not,
I don't like how you. I don't like how you say black.
Don't leave me hanging though. Like I mean, you act like I'm blind about it.
Keep going, Paul. I don't know.
Don't leave you hanging.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right. You're leaning in.
No.
Yeah. And so
coincidence.
A bunch of things come to a culmination. I mean, we see basically the whole show is Fate chasing after, funnily enough, in front of, but chasing after Roxy.
Right.
Yeah, and you see them come together near the end of the season to kind of give you this anticipation of them finally meeting.
Right.
Because they just kind of like do stuff away from each other, like kind of nearby, close, but not touching all the way. And it comes, we get introduced near the very end to this last city where Roxy gets sent to basically Galia. It's in Galia. It's the last city. We meet this guy named Northern, who's another Holy Knight. And Northern turns out, he's a really nice guy. He turns out to be the big bad that's like, I guess, working with lust to try to kill Roxy, to then usher in this new convoluted as fuck age of people by killing Roxy.
They were trying to make, their whole plot was to make a crown beast for humans.
And tell real quick what a crown beast is.
A crown beast is basically, for monsters, it's all their hatred of dying. Every time they die, their hatred of it, and they're like, unfinished. I say it's like unfinished business, almost like a ghost. They all form together to make this super powerful monster with a name. That's why they call them crown beasts. And if you see above their head, they have this crown, like, light above them.
Yes.
And they all have, like, certain stats.
Talk more.
30 million or something. It didn't really make sense.
Yeah, okay, we'll get to the power system in a second. But yes, it did not make sense.
The power system was like a game, but with no game features, but it's not a game because everybody's, like, sentient. It's kind of weird.
So, Dev, what did you think about the power system in the show?
I loved it.
Can you explain it real quick to the audience?
So basically, it's basically like a game world, right? But it's not. It's the real world, but everybody has levels, and they have stats, and they have skills.
Yeah, that's weird.
But it's not a game, okay? So don't think it is, because it's not. Yeah. So basically...
Even though whenever you level up, it says gluttony skill over in your fucking head. Yeah,
that's when you kill someone, he absorbs their
skill.
So basically, after basically grinding, you level up, but it's not a game. Right. So
Holy Knight is not a class. There's warrior, archer, all that stuff.
So after you defeat so many so many beasts, or crown beast, right?
Mm-hmm.
What? once you defeat a stronger opponent, you know, you level up, you level up, you level up, and you know, so far, just like a game, but it's not a game.
And that's the power system, okay?
I mean, like I would like to tell you that like it makes sense. Like
It doesn't.
if you defeat like
It
a
doesn't.
strong opponent, you level up like 2 levels or something like that.
They even mention that. Even the characters in this world say, "Oh, I leveled up and I got." It's
Yeah,
like,
it makes no sense.
You don't really get anything for leveling up. Nothing is like, so when you get to like level 10, there's not like a reward on the other side. Oh, I reached level 10. You know, it's just kind of like
Let's get more stats.
I get a mount or something. No,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just level 10.
So, guys, what did we like about this? What's one thing that like we really, really liked about it? Anything?
About the whole entire anime?
Yeah. Like what
I like the they didn't spare the gore. There was blood. There was people getting eaten. People getting cut in half. There was. It wasn't like. I don't know how to describe it. A lot of animes they kind of skimp on deaths and stuff, but there were consequences. Like there was a lot of death. Like one of the main characters, both of their parents died.
The only reason
in horrible fashion. Monsters killed them. They got eaten. You know, like there's a lot of stuff in there.
The only reason I push back on the consequences part is because when he cut his arm off, didn't stay off, and that kind of ticked me. I really wanted him to lose his arm.
Well, they have plot armor, the
I know,
last form of the weapon.
I know.
It's not even the last form.
I really liked that they cut his arm. I was so happy when they did that.
Yeah,
I was so happy when they did that because I was like, "Yo, there's actual
happy
consequences."
Whenever their parents died too, or like what kind of world do you want here?
Yeah, I was, because it felt like there's consequences.
I mean, even Lust said, "Hey, you can get your arm back. There's a way to do it." Like it's not like it just came out of nowhere.
I know. I just.
But so it did kind of feel like plot armor whenever it ended up becoming Greed's next like level.
Yeah.
So like Greed is the one. His sword is the one that gave him the ability.
Right.
So he didn't have to go to and do this like special quest.
So you just discovered my ultimate, whatever the ultimate attack for the staff. I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah. So it didn't really feel as rewarding, as like maybe going to find something that'll help you, or somebody that can heal your arm. It's
I'm kind of upset that Roxy didn't like die at all.
So if Roxy would have died, that would have been the icing on top. I would have really rated this thing like a 9. Yeah. If Roxy would have died, then things would have really.
Did y'all ever feel like she was like really in trouble?
No, no.
I did.
Yeah,
I mean, she should have been.
She should have been, but there was never a part where like she was like, where it felt like she was about to die. She did have monsters chasing after her.
Yeah,
but like
he comes in last second.
Yeah,
and like that
every time he comes.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
What were we like? What we like?
Okay, yeah.
What we did like though, we did like, I like the I like the bones of like the whole sin aspect of it as for the skills like gluttony, lust. And I like that those are kind of like the hierarchy of the skills. So if you have those skills, it seems like you're kind of on a higher
different level, different plane.
Exactly. And also I like that there are also they have Bankai that that kind of match up with them. So I thought that was really cool. I thought that was like a cool aspect of it. I mean, I think that they could have done some things differently.
Yeah, like tell you about it more.
Yeah, as in describe. Maybe have like some more lore on some of the people that had these skills prior.
Dude.
Yeah.
And like kind of maybe what their life was like.
Yeah, he did say that he had a former wielder that died on him, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
So I mean, I'm just really curious to see how all these other people, like, did they live sad lifestyles like this? May, right? She has been mine. She's been around for thousands of years,
right.
But yet we don't really know too much about her. We just know she's just kind of just like been walking around.
Right.
She's got a nice little axe on her or whatever. But
nice little what?
Axe.
Okay. Sure.
Dude, she's over 1,000 years old. I mean, like,
hey, that's fair game, right?
She's legal.
She's got like a nice little axe.
She's kind of taking advantage of us, if anything,
But also you don't learn also too much about that axe.
Right.
So that axe, her and that axe have been together.
Yeah.
For, over 1,000, probably over 1,000 years.
What?
And you didn't hear any other voices. Like, why is Greed the only one that can talk?
Wow.
You didn't hear the axe. Thank you for saying that.
That's true.
So, but
you're still right, but yeah.
But I did like that aspect of it. I thought that was pretty cool, and
okay.
I just thought it was nice to see.
I think my thing is just I really like Fate's progression. I liked
like his character turn.
Yeah, he was such a pussy early on before he knew the skill, and then he slowly grew out of it. He still was a little hoe because he just wanted to do whatever Roxy wanted. I didn't like that. Mm-hmm. I did like, however, how he became more sadistic when he was killing. He started off just like, oh no, I don't want to kill them, and then he became like, yo, I'm just gonna. When he was fighting Northern, he was like sick and like kind of like a little like demented to me when he did the whole plan to cut his arm off. Like it was a gamble, but it worked after he just felt different.
He turned his sword.
Dude, he just seemed different.
Well, he tried to kill Roxy. It's like that's his boo. You don't try to kill him.
Well, you don't try to kill him. Well, Paul, kill it. Kill this anime. What did you not like about it?
Dude, I mean, like, who's the goddess? Why didn't she like these mortal sins? Why does it go against the grain? There's so much
unanswered things.
Really, it's the backstory. There's no history involved. They tell you, the Holy Knights have been around for generations or whatever, but it's like, why? Why are they here? Why?
They left us with a huge heart on.
Dude, so much. Like, the dragon, is it the only dragon?
Yeah.
What's level E? What does E stand for?
Yeah, domain of E,
the
all
exponent,
that.
like, exponential, what does it mean?
Why did the Galilean place just crumble 4,000 years ago?
Right. What are chimeras? How do they
So we need more lore. We need more backstory.
We need season 2.
Yeah, I had a lot. I had a lot of gripes, man.
I feel like we need a season 0.5.
Yeah.
Something before.
Something to set it up.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't be mad at a prequel.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Give me like 2 episodes. I wouldn't be mad. Or just one OVA, 45 minutes.
Yeah, something maybe of like the life of a previous
wielder.
Yeah.
4,000 years ago, maybe right when Ghislaine destroyed, and you see Lil Mine, and
maybe somebody saves Mine when she's like a little kid.
I can see that. Yeah,
that'd
totally.
Be cool. Yeah.
Curses her with immortality. I don't know. No, I can see all that. No, I had a lot of gripes, man. I had a lot. For one, I hate when anime does this, man. The chimeras, guys, they're in freaking egg sacs, right? They're in egg sacs.
Right.
Why is a fucking robot coming out of a organic egg sac? Okay? They mixed together. They explicitly said, we're going to mix monsters with different people of different skill sets and levels in there.
You think it's a robot?
That's a fucking robot.
It looks like neon.
It does look like a robot, but
Evangelion robots, dude.
I mean, I think it's just like has a harder outer shell.
Man,
I don't think it's necessarily a robot,
technology,
dude.
Because they didn't hint towards like it being like it looks.
This is me.
It looks a part of a robot. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But you look at its mouth, kind of like a.
I don't care. This is a freaking metallic-looking object coming out of an egg sac that's organic. That shit ticks me off when I see that in anime. That's one gripe. Another gripe is, guys, they did a terrible job at like telling you how much time passes. Throughout this anime, y'all don't realize it, but almost half a year passed.
Yeah, there's a lot of time that passes.
And they didn't even mention that. They mentioned from town to town. Oh, I caught it because it said, oh, we've been here for a month now, Roxy.
Right,
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yo, you guys have not been explaining anything well. That was
who cares how much time passed?
Well, I mean,
because shit feels unearned to me.
But
it
we
feels
all
unearned.
That they're bad at explaining things.
I know. For instance, the reason why it feels unearned, Northern, the reveal of Northern being a bad guy. Northern they were there in that town for a month. They could have gave us little Northern tidbits, little things to make Northern seem more of a
stuff in the background.
Make him seem more like a good guy, and then when the reveal happened, we'd care more. I didn't give a shit that Northern was the bad guy. I saw it was Northern too. You guys did too. You guys knew it was Northern when he had the mask on, right?
And the mask is another.
You had no idea. There was nobody else with short yellow hair like that. That was totally Northern the whole time. I was so ticked off, man. It felt unearned.
I really didn't care who it was in the end because like they didn't tease him enough. They're just
only in the opening song.
Nobody gave a shit.
Well, just because like you knew there was this guy that was controlling some of these monsters, but that's all you knew. And they didn't tease like who it could be at all.
Yeah.
So like when they ended up showing him, it's like, oh, okay.
I'm sorry, light novel readers and manga readers who read this. I'm sure there's way more to it, man. But they didn't show this anime, so I'm gonna grade it how it is.
For what it was.
For what it was, and god damn it, for what it was. Let's go ahead and rate this thing, guys. Devin, all right. What do you rate this thing for what it was?
For what it was. It was because I wouldn't recommend somebody else to watch this really. It's just not. It doesn't hold up. and when after you get done with the first season, you're not like itching to watch the next season. I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a 4. It just kind of felt very.
Wow.
All right, dude. I mean, like.
I know you gave it what you gave it.
So it doesn't feel very. It didn't feel finished, or anywhere close to being finished. They definitely should have spent more time into it. The skill system doesn't really make sense. The world that they are in, we don't have enough background for it. The main characters, I'm not even really a big fan of. If you want to watch something with a little bit better of a story, go watch Redo Healer. You know,
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a 4. I wouldn't tell other people to watch it.
Redo is definitely like a better version of this.
Yeah,
it's definitely like just like this is Berserk and Redo is like the same shit, but
and also
they added what we needed.
Every other game anime is better than this too.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I had to think about it. But I'm gonna give this thing a solid 6.
I mean, it's all right.
5 is my mark to like recommend it to anybody. If it's below 5, I'm never talking about it. But 6, I give it a 6. It's like right there. I thought it had a lot of good bones, and it just was too rushed. Like the rushingness just really dumbed it down to what it could have been. Paul,
I don't know what. No, I was gonna give it a 6 as well, but I'm gonna give it a 5.
I mean, it's all right. Like
missing.
Yeah,
and it's not even so
Not
much
bad.
that it's rushed. It's like you had plenty of opportunity between all these, like glutton runs and Roxy takeaways and little cutscenes and everything, where you could have even like the scabbard. I didn't care about what material the scabbard was made out of, the iron, the magic.
Oh yeah,
all these little things that we
Yeah,
didn't need to see. They could have been used for exposition and backstory. Like who are all the weapons? Like why are the other ones talk? There's just too much that I'm missing, especially about main characters. Like if you're gonna give me Greed, a sword that talks, give me more about him. Like don't just tell me that he had a former owner and that his very existence is like goes against the goddess of the world. Give me more of it. Give me the whole story of the knights. So I give it a 5. It's too much missing. But other than that, gore, it was cool. The fights were cool. Stat system makes no sense. Like, how many points do I get per level? Like, what am I working with here? Is it 100 points per level per point? What is it?
Fair.
1 million?
Fair point.
How do you get 999,900,000? You know, like, where'd that come from?
Fair point.
Jesus.
Guys,
that's my pick too, so I feel bad about it.
It's not Jesus, it's Laplace. Guys, we are Assisting the Pupil. Hope you enjoyed our review of this. Leave in the comments what y'all think. Leave in the comments what you review it as and rate it. Yeah. And we'll check it out there.
Sorry, light novel readers. I know they'll be so mad at this.
See y'all next time.